If you're a runner who struggles with injury, you're worried about getting hurt and missing a lot of time training, this video can help you. Hi everyone, Steve Gonzer, physical therapist with RunSmart. I'm going to show you my runner stretch. This stretch is perfect for runners because it stretches a lot of areas all at once, which means you save time, but it also means it translates better to the road, because too often most runners are like pulling on legs like this, they're touching their toes. And instead of doing the toe touches and the leg pulls and the different types of, like, I call them paint sniffers, where you wedge your heel, your foot into the wall and you sniff the paint, this stretch is great because it'll just capture everything. And the nice thing about it too is that it'll identify whatever's tightest and dial it in and stretch that area first. Now real quick before I show you this, this is part of the RunSmart protocol, which is a step-by-step system I use to help runners get back on the road. There is a way to download that full protocol for free, so if you struggle with injuries, you're worried about injuries, go to the link in this post or just go to runsmartprotocol.com and you can actually download the entire thing for free. Now I call this the runner stretch because if you look at the running motion, this is typically the running motion where you're going to be pushing off on one foot, driving forward on the other. So I'd like to capture that. Now ideally this is going to go after tight hips, tight ankles first, but there's a couple variations of it, so I'll show you that. I have my sons and daughters' step stool here from their art station. You can use a stairwell, you can use the trunk of a car, you can use whatever. You just need to be able to get your foot elevated. So I'm going to show you the stretch, give it a try, let me know how you feel in the comments. But I'm going to put my foot up, and the first thing I'm going to do, I should probably show you straight on first. Because a lot of people, whenever you're trying to stretch something, the body's going to try to compensate. It's going to try to get to a spot where, oh, you're trying to pull on that, there's no range of motion, I'm going to go here and get it. And the compensations are what kill us with injury. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put your foot up, and all I want you to do is make sure that your hips are square. Often runners do this, and they have this is exaggerated, but they rotate their hip out. So you're just going to square those hips to the front, and you're going to make sure, go ahead and look at your down foot. It shouldn't be toed out, it should be facing straight ahead. So here's our running posture, right? So we're going to try to mimic a stretch in that position. So there's two ways to do this. The first one is going to be a little bit more calf dominant, and the second one's going to be a little more hip dominant. But what we're going to do is we're going to prop ourselves up. We're going to lock our back leg, making sure it stays face ahead, straight ahead. There we go. And our pelvis again is square. So all you're going to do is you're going to work on coming forward and driving into that. We're looking for good hip extension. We're looking for a stretch in the calf. Now, tendency for most people is as they go forward, they'll arch in their back. So make sure you keep your shoulders stacked over your hips. It also helps to tighten that back butt muscle, and that'll lock you in. So what we're going to be getting here is not only getting hip extension, calf stretch, we're also getting hip flexion on the other side, a little bit of ankle mobility on the left side. So right there we're getting 4 different areas all at once. We're getting ankle, we're getting calf, we're getting hips, we're getting a lot of spots. And this is really going to help open up our stride into a longer stride that helps. So the other way to do this is a little bit more hip dominant. So I'm going to show you that as well. First one's more calf, this one's more hip. So we're going to change it a little bit. We're going to keep our foot up. You're going to lock that knee still. But this time as you drive forward, you're going to let the heel come up off the ground purposefully. That's going to unlock the ankle, and it's going to tap you right into your hip flexors. So if you have the tight hip flexors, you sit a lot at work, you struggle with injury, this is a great one for you. Real quick before I forget, if you struggle with injury, make sure you go to the link in this post, RunSmart Protocol. We just developed it and uploaded it, upgraded it, and you can download it for free by going to the link in the post or runsmartprotocol.com. Step-by-step system to help you with injury. So here's the hip flexor one. So everything stays straight. You're going to glide forward, let that back heel come up. That's going to unlock the calf, and I can feel that banging right into the front of my hip. And I get a little bit further, which means I get better hip mobility. On the other side, better ankle mobility. And here is that stretch. Now typically I'll use this one, warm up or cool down, and we won't hold it for a really long time. So we'll just come forward and off, forward, and you'll feel that right in the front of the hip. Super, super important, because if you struggle with injuries, you struggle to open your stride, it's often due to imbalance, like compensations. I said at the top of this video that when you try to go into these stretches, your body's going to try to compensate and get around it. Those compensations are what kill us. They're the reason why we miss time. So most injuries are either strength or flexibility related, so don't just be a runner who runs. I know that's tough to say in here, but try to stretch out before or after your run. You're going to feel a little bit looser in the hips. You're going to feel your stride open up, and you won't get the crusties right before you get started. And if you want to make sure that injury doesn't interrupt your training or running, or you're struggling right now, go to runsmartprotocol.com or click the link in the post, and you can download my 4-step full guide, whatever you want to call it, to getting over injuries quickly. All right, everyone, I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.